Yo, 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 yo. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Excited to be back here for another live stream. My name is Justin Moore. I'm the founder of Creator Wizard, where I help you find and negotiate your dream sponsorships. So if you're just tuning in today, let me know where you are tuning in from. Today, we're going to be talking about this question. Can side hustle creators still get sponsorships? I think there's a lot of discussion around being a full-time content creator, getting sponsorships. In fact, I just released a new episode of my podcast Creator Debates, where we talked about, we actually had two creators on debating kind of full-time versus side hustle creators, and can you be successful if you're a full-time, if you're only a side hustle creator only, right? But it's kind of ironic because that's how pretty much everyone starts, right? It's like you don't just jump in with 2 feet and be like, I'm going to be a full-time creator, right? It's like oftentimes it starts slow. You kind of start creating content. You have a day job, a 9 to 5, and then you do this kind of thing on the side for fun. And then you start generating some income there, right? Whether it's brand partnerships or YouTube AdSense or you sell stuff or whatever, that's kind of how this stuff starts. But I wanted to talk specifically today around this idea of can you get sponsorships, like sustainable, lucrative sponsorships as a side hustle creator? And so, let me know where you're tuning in from because, let me pull up the Instagram chat here. I am live on a bunch of different platforms. So let me pull up the Instagram chat here. We got Vix Aquatic, Ubob66. Great. Thanks for tuning in today. Excited to chat through this topic here. All right. So, we got Architectural Sheet Metal 101. What's going on? Good to see you here. Nice to see you on Nick Nimmon's stream as well. All right, so let's dive in first. So I've got a few things I want to. Oh, the audio is crackly. Thank you for telling me. All right, let me see if I can fix it. Audio. I am trying something a little bit new today. High resolution audio. Can you let me know if this is helping? Because I am trying something new with the audio today. Echo cancellation, noise suppression. Okay, let me know. Can you let me know if this is better? Because I've been having audio issues with Restream in particular, which is the tool I use to go live. Can you let me know if that's better? ASM 101. No, still crackly. Okay, thank you, Jen. Okay, let me try a few other things. I'm trying. Thanks for rolling with me here. Still crackly. Okay, I'm going to try something else. Try this, and let's see here. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to. I'm doing this. Okay, how about now? Tell me, how does that work? Still crackly. Muay Thai Judy says no. How are we looking now? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Why is it crackly? I don't know why. That's very weird. I did change my setting. It's on a different mic now. Can you let me know if that changed anything? If that's helping? Great now. Okay, it's great now. Is it better? Testing 1 2 3. We are still team crackly. Oh no! Why is this happening? Better, but still. Why is that doing that? Okay, let's see here. Let's get rid of this. I've got echo cancellation now. Oh wait. Oh, someone said, "Oh yes." It does sound crackly, says Drea. This is very frustrating to me. I'm sorry, y'all. Unplug and plug in the XLR. Yeah, I've been having issues with Restream, and I don't know why. I turned it off and on again. Yeah, I wish it's not as simple as that because it's like kind of on. Oh, better. It sounds better now. It sounds better now. Are we doing good? Okay, I'm seeing better. Lots of people saying better. That's good. It's okay. We can still hear you. Okay. Are we good? Is this good now? Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, no. What happened? Hold on a second here. Oh, no. It was the Creator Wizard. Yeah, it was the Creator Wizard. Exactly. This is very frustrating to me. I know. Yeah, D, don't even. D said the tech guy is having tech issues. That's not okay. Don't do that to me, D. Okay, so I have my, let's see, the problem that I was having before, auto gain control, high resolution audio. I'm going to put on my stereo audio input here. This is so annoying. Okay, Here we go. Testing 1, 2, 3. How's it going here? Testing 1, 2, 3. Our ASM says, everyone's saying I can hear great here. Raphael in the chat. Muay Thai Jody says, yeah. Thank you. Architectural Sheet Metal says we will wait. We will wait. Right, everyone? All right. Let me know. I need your love here in the chat. Let me know. Is this sounding good? Can I proceed? Can I proceed? What are we thinking like here? Right now in the audio section, I have my stereo audio input and I have my high resolution audio. It sounds like something hitting the mic. That's very frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. Stereo audio input. We can hear you. Just carry on making a little sound. That's really, really frustrating. It's good enough. Let's get it on, says Technically T. It's not. I don't do good enough. I need it to be flawless. Remove the back noise. Let's try noise suppression. Cancellation. How's this? I'm going to turn off high resolution audio. Okay, so I've got some different settings now. How are we doing now? Are we good? Let me know. It's not clipping. I don't think it's clipping. Okay, how are we feeling now, guys? Thumbs up? Cancellation. Cancellation was good. Definitely could have been a noise gate. That was the issue, I think. Okay, so we good now? We got thumbs up? Okay, here we go. Thank you, God. Okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot of these settings so I don't forget what this is. Okay, here we go. I'm screenshotting this. I've got it. Thank you guys for rolling with me. Holy moly, woohoo! Thank you. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? All right, much better. Thank you guys for rolling with me. All right, so can side hustle creators still get sponsorships? So if you're a side hustle creator, there is absolutely nothing wrong with taking lower paying sponsorships because that helps pay the bills, right? It's extra income. I will never, ever, ever look down on a creator who does that because that's meaningful money, right? But you have to understand that at some point, if you want to go full time, you're going to have to stop taking those deals, right? You're going to come to a crossroads, right? Where you realize that, hey, $100, $200, $500 deals, right? I can't pay my rent off that, or I can't survive off of that, right? Even if I do 10 of these a month. So it's critical that you start educating yourself around how to start finding and working with brands who are going to value you and pay you a lot more money consistently so that you can have more income predictability. Right, I think this is something that happens a lot for creators when they first started out. Is like, hey, $100, that's groceries, right? That's my utility bill. Well, maybe not utilities. I don't know. I live in the Bay Area, and it's like, whew, my electric bills have been crazy, or gas bills have been crazy. But there's this crossroads that you come to where it's like, okay, you're deciding like, this seems to be a lot of work. It takes time to, get the product, test the product, shoot, film. If you're writing newsletters, you're blogging, I'm writing about it, I'm doing podcasts, whatever I'm doing. It takes time to do this, right? For a product or access to a software or something that you could just go out there and buy for $20, right? So while at the same time on the surface, it does seem nice, $100, $200, $500, I get it. But there is an opportunity cost there. What could I be doing instead? Is there a more value additive thing a better thing that I could be doing with my time that perhaps I could actually be making more money down the line? So if I, invested in making my videos better, could I grow my views on YouTube where I could be making more on AdSense if I actually concentrated on my content right now? If I could grow my average viewership so that I could be getting consistently more lucrative deals down the line, right? So it's like, yes, in the short term, this may seem like $100, $200, $500, like that seems like real money in hand right now. But are there other activities that you could be investing your time in now that could actually be yielding more revenue down the line? It's hard to have that perspective though in the beginning, I understand, especially if someone's like, hey, I'm going to pay you $50, I'm going to pay you $100, $200, whatever. I get that, right? But having the ability to like having the foresight to be able to walk away from a deal like that is the most powerful position that you can be in when you are a side hustle creator, because you realize like, hey, I'm gonna forego this like money in hand now, because I know that down the line I'm going to be able to make more money when I have more leverage, more negotiation power when I'm in the room or when I'm on a call with these brands, because I can reliably say like, hey, when I talk about something, the people who follow me, the people that listen to my podcast, the people who read my newsletter, whatever, they take action. They trust my recommendations. And so you're going to be able to have more confidence to ask for a higher rate, a higher investment to partner with you. And I think that this is one of the biggest inflection points that you need to have in your confidence journey as a creator. And in fact, we're in an active cohort of my course Brand Deal Wizard right now. And Dee, who is our head of community, she just did a session around confidence in office hours today, about an hour ago. And Dee, maybe you can drop it in the chat here, about kind of like some of the things that you talked about, because I think that this is a really, really hard thing to do. And I did not appreciate how difficult it was until I started educating creators, coaching creators, and because it's really easy. Like, here's the thing. You have somewhat like, y'all know, like I've been doing this for a really long time, and there's somewhat of kind of this thing that they call survivorship bias, right? Like my wife and I started on YouTube in 2009. So I'm very, very I acknowledge heavily that, we had the luxury of kind of riding the tidal wave of interest in influencer marketing over the last decade. And so, things are very different now for creators that are just starting out. There's a lot of advantages, I think, to actually starting out now than 10 years ago to 14 years ago, whenever we started. For sure. Like, the number one thing that I think is most advantageous now is that there's so much less stigma around monetizing and doing sponsorships and stuff like that now than there was, decade ago when we were doing it. A decade ago when we were doing sponsorships, every other comment that we got when we, released a video or released a post that was sponsored, oh, you sell out, like, oh, dude, you're only doing this, you're only in it for the money. And it was like super negative. Like, believe me, we've been there. And that is not the case now. People are much more supportive of creators. Yeah, you get the occasional like negative comment, but for the vast majority of folks, it's on the balance, it's like people are much more positive about it. And so, and yet though, like I'm very conscious of the fact that like mindset, confidence, like that plays a huge role in, your ability to actually like land some of these lucrative deals or be able to get out of these, out of this price precedent that you may have established, kind of this lower price precedent. Maybe you've worked with a brand 1, 2, 3 years or whatever, and you've been either doing free product, and be making all this content for them for free, or, maybe it's like these kind of $100, $200, $500 deals. And it's like, man, what does it take to actually get out of that? And so I totally acknowledge that. And so that's why I wanted to talk specifically about this issue today, because it can be very challenging it's this vicious cycle mentally. It's like the more and more brands who just tell you, no, sorry, like free product or $100, $200 deal, that's all you're worth to me. It can start to affect your psyche. It can start to affect your confidence and be like, man, there's no brand out there that's ever going to want to pay me like what I think I'm worth. And then you start to doubt the value that you bring to the table. And so that is why I'm here. That is why I'm talking about this stuff. Recycle Mikey says, I think this is a recording. It's definitely not a recording, Recycle Mikey. It's definitely not. I want to acknowledge you. I'm glad that you're here, Recycle Mikey and Jamie Fielding. I can see all you here. We've got Nika Hontis, Sharma, Amit 04, Lacquered Lens, Something Renewed. Yeah, good to see all here. DN Fam says in the chat, confidence plays a huge role in the success of your partnerships. It's harder to convince a brand that it'll be a good choice to partner with you with low confidence. 100% accurate, D. And Marianne says the brands can make money from what I put out for them. Why can't I also make money and they pay me for it, right? It's not fair. 100% hear you on that one. Jenny Lee says to give everyone hope. I have less than 2,000 subs, and I just got a Temu sponsorship. It's not my first either, so stay confident. Congratulations, Jenny. That's huge. That's huge. That's massive. Congratulations. Architectural Sheet Metal says, Hashtag hustlin' Justin. You know what? I do like that one. I do, but I must say, my name is Flava J. That is the name that I was knighted when I was in middle school, because I used to be in a breakdancing crew, if you can believe it. Can you? Not only was I in a breakdancing crew in middle school, but I was also in a metalcore band in high school. So I don't know if you can quite picture it. I've got the cable knit sweater going on right now, but that was me in my youth. Divya, what's going on, man? I hope you're feeling better. Arian told me that you're not feeling so hot. So good to see you in the IG chat. Hope you're doing well, man. All right. So yes. So I just wanted to kind of start off the live talking about that particular subject around confidence for side hustle creators in particular, because sometimes I think it can feel like it's impossible, that you're never going to be able to get to that point where people will ever value you, and that's 100% false, like 100% false. So let me know. I am going to be doing a Q&A, and so please let me know in the chat if you have any Q&As or if you have any questions. But first, I did want to kind of chat through a couple other things related to this, because I think it's just so critical. All right, so the first thing, we talked about that, and I appreciate you guys rolling with me on the audio issues I was having earlier, which is always so frustrating to me. All right, so if you're a side hustle creator and you're doing sponsorships, you have to be honest with yourself and the brand about deadlines. The brand will not understand or care that you have a full-time job. This is a business transaction, so you cannot overpromise, right? And so if you say yes to this deal, it might mean that there's going to be some late nights to make it happen, right? And make the timeline work. Especially if you want to be a full-time creator, there's probably going to be a time period where you're working your butt off to build up your income streams. And honestly, even when you're able to go full-time, if you want to, you're still going to work your butt off. But let me tell you, the payoff is so sweet. I think as creators, we don't appreciate the fact, like we don't think about on the other side of it. When this brand is entrusting in you, they're saying, "Hey, I'm going to pay you $500, or I'm going to pay you $1,000, or whatever." Like, to me, to you, this may feel like just extra income, but to the brand, they are hiring you for something that is perhaps mission critical to their own marketing strategy. And so for you to say, "Oh, you know what? I just got super busy with work. I'm not going to be able to deliver this content to you, and for it's going to be 3 days late." Like, that is not acceptable, right? In your world, this may not be a priority because it's just extra income to you, but perhaps this brand might be a smaller or medium-sized brand, and they're not working with a ton of creators. So if they're paying you $500, $1,000, that could represent a non-trivial portion of their marketing spend for that month. And so slipping on a deadline, if they're trying to launch something, a new product, a new new marketing promotion, maybe it's something seasonal, right? It may not seem like a big deal to you, but it might be a big deal to them. And so this is the mindset shift that you need to have. If you do want to go from being a side hustle creator to a full-time creator, that you need to realize that this stuff matters. You can't just be lackadaisical with it, right? And so this is one of the reasons why I make content. This is the reason that I coach creators, is to realize that you have to take ownership over this stuff and be more professional, be more communicative about this stuff, because the brand's going to notice if you take the time to show them that you care, to actually be invested in the outcome of this partnership, they're going to hire you again, which again is the whole point of this discussion, right? Is to how can you go from all these one-off deals that are maybe lower paying to these more consistent deals that are more lucrative. So I just think it's Marianne says in the chat, "I'm working my butt off right now." Early morning learning like that. Marianne, it's like, I joke that for a long time, it was we had a 9 to 5 and then we had a 5 to 9, right? We worked full time. My wife was a preschool teacher. I was in medical devices, and and then when we got home, we worked our butts off from 5 to 9, right? Or sometimes it was much later than that, right? It was we were building our presence on social media, online. And let me remind you, it was not as certain in 2000, 2010 or 2011 what this YouTube thing was going to become for us. Like, we had no idea. Now it's a lot easier to like see, like influencer marketing is a thing. There's a lot more avenues to monetize, right? You can make ebooks and courses, and you could do all that stuff back then, but it was much less certain. It was much less like, oh, I'm going to like go out and like generate a new revenue stream. Like, that was not a thing. And so we built a lot of this with relative uncertainty over like what this was going to look like, but we just had a feeling that this could potentially pay off down the line, right? And so having the risk appetite to realize that, man, I may be investing a lot of time into this thing and it may not pay off. That is what is going to differentiate you from all these other people out there who think that being a creator is a path to fast money. You probably know it's not a path to fast money, especially if you're, let's say, you're wanting to build up a YouTube channel or something, right? You think, oh man, getting AdSense money, that's going to be amazing. Getting monetized and just making the content that I love and I'll just get money for it. Like, that's magic, right? Until you really get in there and realize like, wow, it takes a lot to get that many subscribers or get that amount of watch time that's required to actually get monetized, right? Right. It's kind of a rude awakening. And so if you can be the person to have this longer term time horizon of like, you're willing to put in the work and realize that, hey, I really love this and I think this could become a career. This could be something that I want to invest all this time into. You are going to be ahead, but it requires that level of faith. It requires that level of time investment. And maybe you're going to forego hobbies and things that your other peers are doing. Oh, they're going out and they're spending, doing a late night and going to the club or going to hang out with friends or going to this weekend getaway or whatever. Here you are conserving your capital, conserving your cash, investing in equipment or whatever to like make your side hustle a reality. Like, it takes a lot of faith to do that. And so I have nothing but the utmost respect for people for creators who have that mindset, because it's a rare breed. Honestly, not the vast majority of people, they don't have it in them, candidly. And it's the people who criticize. It's the people, if you ever get those comments who are critical of that, it's because those people do not have what it takes to do what you're doing. End of story, in my opinion. So I just want to kind of like, can we just get a cha-ching in the chat for that one? Ashley said, path to fast money. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, exactly. Jenny Lee says, I've literally been up with a baby the last 2 nights and spent the morning at the pediatrician with a 3-year-old with a double ear infection, but I still grinned all night to prepare next week's content. Holy cow, Jenny. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? Honestly, that is what it's all about. It's crazy. And I hope your youngs, your young kids feel better soon, man. I remember that. I remember that for sure. Pretty Distressed said, YouTube is a lot of work. Long-term pays off. That's 100% true. 100% true. All right. So before we dive into the Q&A, I want to talk about one more thing around this kind of whole side hustle creator idea about getting sponsorship. So if you're a side hustle creator and you want to make thousands of dollars a month working with brands, here's the next level tactic. You ready? Start sleuthing brands' job boards. Okay. When you see them post positions for an influencer marketing manager or a content marketing manager or a social media coordinator, study the heck out of that posting, because it's going to tell you exactly what they need help with, right? So when you reach out, the thrust of your pitch is not, hey, pay me to post about your brand on my page. It's, hey, I saw your job post. It seems like you need help with X, Y, Z. I can do all that for you on a freelance basis. It's going to be, $5K a month, whatever. You don't need to hire a full-time employee. Are you free on Thursday at 10 a.m. to chat about it? Right? So you can be kind of next level with the types of things that your pitches. This is one of the most common versions of a DM that I get, is like, hey, I'm killing it on social media. I've got 10,000 views on average on my videos, or I'm getting this many thousands of podcast downloads, or this many opens on my newsletter, whatever. Can you help me find a sponsor? That is the DM I get on the daily. Okay. And so what I often volunteer to people who are in my DMs asking this is, look, that pitch that you just gave me is very you focused. Brands do not care about you. Do you know what they do care about? Themselves. They're very narcissistic. They think, and rightly so, right? They're a business. They are trying to accomplish their own marketing objectives. So when you are reaching out to them, you don't say, hey, I'm Justin. I have 40,000 subscribers on YouTube and I get this many views a month, blah, 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 blah. They don't care. Delete. They just deleted your email. Your pitch has to be, hey, I saw that your brand is trying to do XYZ. I can help you spread the word about that in the following ways. I can do a YouTube promotion. I can do newsletter promotions. I can do this, because it's going to help you accomplish your marketing objectives, which you already identified in this job post or in this, a press release, or I saw, your VP of marketing posting about this on LinkedIn, or I saw them talk at on a fireside chat at a conference or whatever it is. I saw that you're trying to do this. I can help you do that for X thousand dollars a month. Do you want to chat? That is the thrust of your pitch. It's not, hey, I'm going to post about you on my page. It's about, hey, you have identified this problem, and sponsoring me is the solution to help you accomplish that. It's very simple. If you position your pitches in this way, in fact, this is all we talk about in week 1 of my course, Brand Deal Wizard, which just happened this last week, right? And so those of you who are in the chat who are in the program, right? You could probably vouch for this, that it seems simple, but it's in practice, it takes a little bit of massaging, an art and a science to actually get there and figure out how to actually make these pitches. But this is really what it's all about. Lacquered.lin says job listing equals genius pitch. That's 100%. That's what I'm saying. We got Nolan Coop. We got a Brand Deal Wizard cohort 8, Nolan in the chat. What's going on, Nolan? Good to see you. Something.renewed says, love this. Thank you, something.renewed. I appreciate that. So again, like I just, it does not have to be that difficult. Okay, you don't need to overthink this. WF, I think that's you, Wade. Wade says, can confirm that we did talk about that in class. Yes, glad to hear it. Again, please let me know what your questions are about brand deals, sponsorships, negotiations in the chat, because now is the glorious time on these Fridays where I answer your questions. So I'm gonna scroll back. Can we confirm that the audio is sounding? Is it sounding good? Is it cutting in and out? Is it slip? I'm just really annoyed that happened at the beginning. I hope it sounds good. All right, let's see here. What questions I am missing? Let's see here. Okay, so Circle H Scuba, I want to pull up a couple of comments here. I decided to shoot my shot with a brand, emailed them to ask if they'll be running the same kind of campaign as last summer and if they have a budget to do a review video. Congratulations, Circle H Scuba. That's amazing. Did you hear back yet? Because I'm really, you got to keep us posted on that one. That's amazing. Marian says, I'm at that crossroads and I want to transition to paid sponsorship. The brands can make money from what I put out for them. Oh yeah, we talked about, yeah, exactly, Marian, exactly. Yeah, Circle H Scuba said that last video on the 3 creators that reached back to brands to push back for getting paid was so good for confidence. That third and final creator, dang. Yeah, so Circle H Scuba was talking about my most recent YouTube video all around what I created called this negotiation hotline, where y'all actually emailed me real life negotiations. But by the way, I want to do more of these videos. So go if you feel confident enough or vulnerable enough to forward me some of your email threads negotiations with brands, I'm going to make more of these videos. So I'm going to put the link to it in the chat. It's just hotline@creatorwizard.com. So if you want to forward me your thread, then I'm going to anonymize it all. So I won't put the brand name or your name or anything like that if you don't want me to. And so hotline@creatorwizard.com. So please forward me your pitches, because I can't make these videos without you. These are real negotiations that I actually featured in the chat. So hotline@creatorwizard.com. So please forward me your negotiations, please. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so reposted the question. They reached back out and told me that so let's see here. I decided to shoot my shot, emailed them, and they have a budget to do a review video. I mentioned a potential new market segment they could target with the review, scuba, since they focused on other water sports in 2022. They reached back out and told me that they were forwarding to the marketing person that could give me the answers. Awesome. Okay. That's amazing. And don't let that die on the vine. Okay, even though they said that they're going to be forwarding it to the marketing person, don't just like kind of sit on your hands down and wait for that. So if you don't hear from the marketing person within, let's say, 5 days, when you reach, I want you to reach back out to them. And I don't want you to say, hey, just following up, did your marketing person get a chance to take a look at this? I want you to provide them value. I want you to go and find some sort of, article. Okay. So maybe it's an article around how another brand, another water sports brand in a similar category is killing it with, short form content. I don't know what the thrust of your pitch was, but like, another brand in this other category, similar category is killing it with, XYZ, and so you're providing value. You're not, here's a link to an article. It's not, oh, just wanted to follow up. And so that's one of the like big takeaways that we talk about in my course. And we talk about just generally with the pitching methodology that I teach is that you're always providing value when you're following up. You're not just being an annoying like person, like following up. And by the way, don't be afraid to be that annoying squeaky wheel when you are pitching a brand as a creator. Okay, because you're not annoying them. Okay, if they're annoying, if you are annoying them, they will tell you, and they'll either ghost you or delete your email. And it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I pitched a brand cold the other day, and I got blocked on LinkedIn. So it still happens to me, and I don't care. It's just part of it, right? It's not a big deal. Like if a brand is, and the vast majority of the time, if a brand is not responding to you, it's not because they're mad at you. It's not because they're pissed and you're annoying. It's because they're busy. Right. And so bringing something to the top of their inbox with more value is a good thing. It's not, you're not going to annoy them. Trust me. And if they do get annoyed with you, it's okay. It happens. It's not a big deal. Okay. All right. Okay. I think Marianne posted something, a question. Let me pull up here because I think I missed it. Marianne, did you post something? And okay, maybe I didn't. Oh, Marianne says, next step, a brand reached out to me with free products. I asked their goal and their budget, what to do when they come back still with just free products for the moment, but can look at future opportunities. So Marianne, this is something that I talk about exclusively in my course brand. Of course, I have 2 courses in my course, Gifted to Paid, because this is a very common occurrence. So you'll have a brand reach out with a free product offer, and they will, you'll come back to them with some sort of pivot, right? You come back to them with some sort of pitch asking about budgets and all this stuff. No, we only have, free product that we can offer you. And so when most creators hear this, they think they just close the door. Okay, well, I'm only, doing paid partnerships right now. Please let me know if anything ever changes on your end. That's what creators say. And basically they're slamming the door in the brand's face, which is not what you want to do. In reality, there's lots of different things that you should be saying based on the different version of, hey, we're not going to pay you. Because in reality, there's a lot of different ways in which they're saying they're not going to pay you, right? It's, hey, I'm going to give you a gift card. Hey, will you be an affiliate? Hey, we want you to be an ambassador. Hey, let's do a trial. And if it goes well, we'll pay you in the future. Or, hey, this product is expensive, so that should be compensation enough, right? So there's all these different versions of them saying, hey, we're not going to pay you. And in reality, you have to be saying different things for each of those scenarios. And that's what we go into in detail in my course, Gifted to Paid. And that is an on-demand program. So if you want to binge it, it's literally, you can binge it in 90 minutes. You just go to giftedtopaid.com. I'm going to put it in the chat, giftedtopaid.com. Because I have actually templates in there of what you can say to pivot. But just as a quick kind of little teaser, in that scenario, one question that you can ask is, hey, thank you so much. That's super, helpful. And I understand that. When you work with folks on a gifted basis, are they granting you the rights to utilize that content and repurpose it for paid advertising? Are you running paid ads with this content that, creators are generating with the free products? And they may think, no, we're not actually. And so you say, because I specialize in those types of partnerships. Let me know if you'd like me to send over a couple options of what the investment might look like there. So again, you're making them think. They're now realizing oh yeah, our affiliates or the people who are sending free stuff. Because here's what happens when people send free stuff, right? Oftentimes it's a gifted strategy, and so they send, let's say, 100 free products out to 100 different creators, right? Of the 100, creators that they send this stuff to, maybe 20 actually post about it, right? And then of the 20, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 pieces of content are actually good and high quality enough to a point where a brand would feel comfortable wanting to actually repurpose that content. And then of the, 3, 4, 5, Maybe one or two is actually really compelling, and a brand could actually envision, actually, no, this content's really good. We actually want to cut this down into like a 15-second ad that we can run on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, right? And so that's 1 out of 100. Right. And so you need to illustrate to them that I am not a commodity. I specialize in something very different than all these other people that you're offering free products to. Because again, I posted something about this recently, that when you like illustrate to a brand, like there's all these other creators in like that they reach out to that are cool accepting free stuff. Sure, send me free stuff. So in the brand's head, they're thinking the creators are cool with this. So when you reach out and say, hey, you got to pay me for this exact same thing that this other creator is going to do for free, they're thinking, nah, I'm good. I got 99 other creators who are accepting it for free. So the onus is on you to explain to them why they need to pay you. Put yourself in the shoes of the brand. Don't get mad at the brand. This is like, if you owned a brand, wouldn't you do that? If you wanted to get your brand talked about, wouldn't you do that too? It's not like, you have to understand, you may think it's justification enough to be like, you know what? The brand should just know that all creators deserve to be compensated. And yes, there are some brands like that, but most of them, they don't get it. They're not trying to be malicious, but there's all these other creators in their inbox who are accepting posting for free. So it's your job to educate them about why they have to compensate you. Take ownership over it. Do not be a victim. It's your job as a creator. This is part of your job to educate brands. When you switch to that mindset of ownership, everything changes. You won't get mad about it anymore. You're just going to be like, okay, well, this brand just doesn't get it, and that's okay. I'm going to move on to the next brand who will be receptive to my education. How powerful is that? John Nacaretto in the chat says, giftedtopaid.com is awesome. Thank you, John. I appreciate you, John. Tanya says, Tanya, good to see you in the TikTok chat. She said, tell them I love your realness, Justin. Empathizing with the brand is so huge. Empathy, what does it do when you have an empathetic heart? The other party that you're interacting with can sense that you have empathy. They can sense that you actually care and want to help them. Marianne says, aha moment, take ownership. Exactly. 100%. We got Timeless X Beauty in the chat. Good to see you. Gabriella Dot says, you on fire today with the advice. Thank you, Gabriella. I appreciate you. Powerful, says KMH family. Good to see you. All right. Concise Tech says, your creator hotline video was definitely the best value I've gotten out of one of your videos or any of the brand deal videos on YouTube. The wizard voice was almost too much for me though. Okay, here I'm gonna be real with you. I appreciate you. I had an audio screw up on that video where my microphone was peaking. I don't know if you could tell this, but just kind of a behind the scenes thing. And I was so frustrated because I was so excited for that video. And I had my gain on my shotgun mic too high. So it was like peaking. So we had oh my God, it was like the worst realization when I was looking at the footage. And so that was one like really thing I regretted on that video. But the second thing is that it just turned out too long. Like it was like almost a 15-minute video. And so we're experimenting with the format to see how it can make it more concise, because I agree, like the value there of actually seeing like real interactions with brands is like great. And here's the thing. I think it's so important as a creator to experiment with new content formats and not be afraid to just like, have fun with it, right? Like here I am I'm in a green screen. I'm like dressing up as a wizard and I'm trying to be fun with it and all that stuff too. So it's like, I want to educate, I want to entertain. It's like a balance to try to edutain, because I think that's the best type of content where you can be entertained and you can learn something. Like that's what I'm trying to balance, but I'm not there yet. Like I am, I'm still trying to figure out my footing and I'm not afraid to like fall on my face and like maybe like this is a great like a great example is that if you go and look at that video, like it's on the lower side of views relative to other like, videos on my channel, like in the first 48 hours or whatever, but the engagement is like way higher. So I had like way more comments on that video of people like you, saying, this was super valuable relative to like my other content. And so like that is an indicator to me that like I should still, try to experiment with this content. And so I think as creators, we're so eager to just like, we try something and then maybe maybe it doesn't perform as well, or maybe it doesn't get the reach that we like hope, or the viewership that we hoped it would, or maybe we get a few negative comments on there, like you're, it's okay, like saying that, like, the wizard costume is a little too much for me. It's like, this is a little much, or it's too long, or the audio sucked, or whatever. It's like, but you have to, like, part of it as a creator is you have to have the humility to say, you know what, like that's all true. Like I admit that's all true. Like it's too long. The audio was not great. Like the voices were a little much, the CD format, but like there's something there. What can I do to actually iterate on this format? Because I do think it's like a really cool format. Right. And so I just gotta, I think that's like a really important lesson as a creator, is that you have to be able to like be willing to fail. Candidly, you have to be, and the same holds true for like working with brands and pitching brands. And like, you have to be willing to like fail and, get blocked on LinkedIn. Like I did like the other, a couple of weeks ago when I was trying to pitch a brand, and like, because like, if I told you that you were 50 no's or 50 failures away from your massive hit, from a yes to a big deal, or an outsized performing piece of content or whatever, would you do it? I bet you would. Because I guarantee you, if you have 50 at bats, trust me, you are going to like see success, right? Because the other thing too, if you look at my social footprint generally, if you looked at my YouTube channel, right, I've got 40 some odd thousand subscribers on there, but my average viewership on my videos is like in the hundreds. And the reason, there's a couple of reasons for that, but like one of them is like I tried to like revitalize an old YouTube channel that I had from like 10 years ago that I hadn't posted on for like 5 years. And I was like, I want to start making videos to like educate creators. I'm just going to like dust off this old channel that I was, I have 40,000 subscribers on. That was a terrible idea. I should have started a new channel, but obviously hindsight's 2020, but like that. But it's like, if I like, woe is me, if I took the victim path and like, man, these videos should be reaching so many more people, like all this stuff too, right? Like, I'm only reaching hundreds of people, but it's like, I'm reaching hundreds of creators. And that is who I'm serving with my coaching and my courses and all that stuff too. So if I can like impact that is like my ultimate audience of the people that I'm trying to serve. My course, if you're investing in my course, it's not a $20 course, it's $3,000. It's a steep investment, but I am, I am serving a very niche, and like, that is like my strategy when it comes to like this entire business that I built. I have over 17,000 people, 17,000 creators on my newsletter now, right? So it's like, if you are very myopic about this one portion of this thing that you're doing, and maybe it's not succeeding in the way that you want, just realize that you have to look at things in the overall picture. My YouTube channel is just like one way in which I'm serving people. Right. And in fact, like if you look at my short form content, or you look at my, long form content, my newsletters, I'm producing a lot of content, and I feel as though I'm educating people in different ways. And so if you find me on TikTok and then you go to subscribe to my YouTube channel, yeah, maybe I'm building a deeper connection with you on my long form content. So it's all serving different purposes. So just, I guess the point is like, kind of be a little bit more thoughtful, and don't be as quick to give up on the formats that may on the surface seem to not be working in that moment. All right. Circle H Scuba says, who cares about your views and subs? You have a targeted and niche audience, the 1,000 super fans approach. You're 100% right, dude. You're 100% right. And I appreciate you acknowledging that. Pure Shenanigan says, that thinking alone is why you are successful. Can I get an amen in the chat? Can I get a cha-ching and an applause for that? Appreciate you. Gabriella Dot says, PK the course, guys. No free products, guys. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tanya Moshi says, who greater than or equal to sign over how many? Let's get some applause for that in the chat. 100%. There was a question in the TikTok chat that I wanted to answer. Tanya says, actually, I do have a question. I had a 10K deal in the works with a bank that agreed. Then they ghosted me. What would you do? What would Justin do? WWJD. Well, first of all, congratulations. And I'm sorry. That's annoying. Can you give me a little bit more context, Tanya, into like where you were at in the It seems like they agreed. Did you have a contract? Did you not have a contract? How long ago was this that they ghosted you? Kind of give me some context here. That would be helpful because I definitely want to answer that question. There was another question up here that I missed. Concise Tech said, I could hear the audio slightly as a creator, but it was seriously the best video in terms of getting actual concrete information and no flush. I watched it once myself and then again with my wife. That means a lot. Thank you. If you have other ways in which I could, you think I could improve, please email me. I'm very accessible, justin@creatorwizard.com. If you have any tips on how I could improve my stuff or how I could reach more creators and impact them more, like I want to know. Circle H Scuba said, I almost commented about the audio mix being off. Yeah, it was definitely off. I know it's off. Mary says, what's the creator hotline, please? Okay, it's just hotline@creatorwizard.com. Marianne, if you can, basically what that is that you can email me your brand negotiations and I will make video. I will anonymize it. I'll remove the name of the brand and your name, and I'll talk about it in a video. My most recent video on my YouTube channel, if you go, it's the negotiation hotline video, where it's like real negotiation videos with creators. Where I go is I 3 creators sent negotiation threads to me, and I analyze them and I talk about what I liked and what I would do differently so that they can make more money. So please send me can you please forward me your brand deal emails? I need more. I don't have any more. I used them all for that video, so I need more for round 2. Okay, and I'm gonna try and dial in that format. Okay. Seth James Demore has a question which I want to talk about, which is, how about price points in this economic downturn? Are you supposed to be bringing your prices down, or okay, so let's talk about the economy right now. So obviously there's some economic instability right now. There's questions around what's going on in terms of jobs and what's going on in terms of advertisers' appetite to be spending money right now, especially working with influencer marketing, with some could argue is a more unpredictable investment tactic for brands. Like one thing that I did some Q&A, some Zoom Q&A calls for my course launch period, where I actually got on a Zoom call with like a handful of creators, and they were able to ask their questions about the course and just generally about the about brand deal strategy and stuff. And one of them asked a very similar question, and so I wanted to share kind of what my answers were there as well. To that question. Actually, I just realized I wanted to make a note for myself about, sorry. I realized that I wanted to turn those Q&A calls into shorts. Why don't I do that? That doesn't make sense. Cool. Okay. Thank you. See, if I don't make a note for myself, I'm going to forget to do it. So thank you for appreciating that. So yeah, when it comes to the economy, if I am a brand and I have a budget of, let's say, $100,000 that I want to, acquire new customers, because that's what they use to spend their money on, is like acquiring new customers or getting more brand awareness, right? They know with relative certainty that if they spend that $100,000 on Meta ads or YouTube pre-roll ads or ads on TikTok or Google pay-per-click ads, they take that budget, they put it in there. If they've done it before, if that is a tactic that they, doing paid ads is a tactic that they, use often, they have a formula. They know that their return on ad spend, it's called ROAS, ROAS, is going to be, let's say, 2x or 1.5x or 3x or whatever it is. So they put $100,000 in, they get $300,000 out or $200,000 out, whatever that formula is. It depends on the brand, right? They know with relative certainty that is what that is going to translate into, right? When they work with creators, they do not have that same level of certainty, because in the past, if they have worked with creators, oftentimes maybe they hired someone with 500,000 followers, 1 million followers or whatever, and they got $5,000 of sales, and they paid that person $20K or $25K or whatever it is. Or and contrast that with maybe they hired someone with actually 10,000 followers, and that person drove 200 sales, right? So they paid that person 2,000, but they actually made 10,000, right? And so that is the experience set that a lot of brands have when they work with creators, right? And so oftentimes their appetite to actually work with creators in this, economic instability is reduced, because they go back to the kind of tried and true. They recede to the tried and true tactics that are more predictable. Wouldn't you as a brand, right? And so your job as a creator, when you are pitching brands in this, economic condition, is to help them understand how you can inject more predictability into their marketing strategy. And so the shape that this would take would be to look at their ads, analyze their ads that they're already running, and say, and your pitch to them when you reach out is, hey, I can help you make more compelling ads. See how that's different? It's not, hey, I'm going to talk about you on my page or on my YouTube channel. That can still be part of your pitch, but you can say, hey, I can actually create, let's say 5 videos for you where I'm going to change up the hook. I'm going to change up kind of the messaging. I'm going to change different calls to action. I'm going to give you these 5, 10 videos or whatever. No skin off my back. I can do this. I do this all day long. I'm going to make this content for you. And you can just take all these and throw them in the black box of the Meta, ads algorithm or in the TikTok, ads marketplace and see which one does best, because I'm going to help you make better ads to help you make more money. And so in that scenario, you could potentially charge more, not less, because it's all about aligning with what they're trying to do. And so that's why you have to be a lot more strategic in this scenario when economic conditions are more uncertain. And so a lot of what you'll find that I talk about when it comes to negotiations and brand partnerships and all this stuff is like, just put yourself in their shoes. If it was your business, if it was your brand, if it was you in that influencer marketing manager role, how would you want this person on the other end to behave? The creator, how would you want them to behave if it was you? And I feel like that exercise, oftentimes just having that empathetic heart, gives you a lot more objectivity, and it allows you to be much less emotional about this thing, right? And I get it. There's some brands who are rude. There's some brands who are not. They don't deserve your empathy, and I get that, but you have to take the high road. That's just the reality of it. You are a professional. How would you deal with someone who is difficult in a professional setting? Someone who's annoying if you're in a 9-to-5 job or something like that, and you still have to work with them. They're still your coworker. They're still your colleague, and they're annoying, or they don't do their job or whatever. That you still have to deal with them. It's the same when you are a creator. You just have to swallow your pride, and you don't be rude. And you're just like, you know what? This just comes with the territory. I am a professional, and I'm going to interact with this person professionally. Can you do that? I challenge you to do that. Okay. Tanya says, what a solid answer. Your empathy and ability to understand them is on another level, friend. Tanya, thank you. That's so kind of you. I appreciate that. Maybe did you give me some more context on the situation with that brand? Let me scroll up here. No contract. 5 months ago, they reached out, they saw the proposal, had a meeting, and agreed. Okay. So I want you to, let's talk about empathy here. Put yourself in the shoes of that bank right now, especially like as of what happened with Silicon Valley Bank yesterday, where there's potentially a bank run on them. And, I don't know, it's kind of questionable about other banks in the system right now. They're scared. They're probably scared right now of like what's going on. I don't know what type of bank it is, but like if I were you, probably what I would reach out to, I would reach out now. And I'd be like, hey, obviously, I was thinking about you in our conversation, given in light of what's going on in the last like 24 hours in terms of like question marks around confidence, banking confidence, consumer confidence around their finances. And I actually have an idea for how we could get ahead of this for your bank. We could create some content around how important it is to that bank to, be transparent around the protection of their customers' assets and all the safeguards that they're employing right now in wake of the economic instability and the transparency that's required, blah, 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 blah. So you seize what's potentially a negative situation right now, a global perception, or, at least, in America or whatever. And you actually pitch this to them as something that they can do to get out ahead of it. That's an idea. What do you think of that, Tanya? Let me know in the chat. Okay. Gabrielle in the chat says, Chanel increased their prices now, so don't lower your prices. We need this 3K course. Let's see. I appreciate that, Gabriella. Tanya says, I love that. I think dealing with the reality of the situation is super smart. 100%. Because they're sitting on the sidelines now being like, oh God, what do we do? like, do we just say nothing? I guarantee you they're like in their crisis comms, if they have a PR team, like they're trying to figure out what to do right now because there's a lot of, they don't want to bank run on their assets right now. So they need to get out ahead of this thing. Right. So you need to lean into this too. Like, again, remember how we were talking at the beginning of this live stream around the problem solution mindset? Their problem right now is perception. If everyone thinks that they need to do a bank run, that's a big, big challenge. So your solution needs to come to them as like, hey, I can help you regain customer confidence by sponsoring me. Right? We're going to create this content. You can post it on your blog. You can post it on your social channels. You can run paid advertising with it. You can do a newsletter blast your customers about, the confidence in that they should have and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Problem, solution. Sponsoring you, working with you, creating content with you is a solution to this problem that they have. Because you better believe they have budget to solve this problem because they do not want a bank run. Right? It's not just, partner with me, Tanya. I'm going to talk about your bank and blah, 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 blah. They're not going to spend money on that right now. Make sense? All right. Ashley says, in this economy, I've seen an increase in brands wanting partnerships and paying more than ever from micro to macro influencer. They are paying. Very fascinating data point there. Tanya says, yeah, 100 emoji. Appreciate that, Tanya. Glad it was helpful. Seth James Moore says, I really appreciate your answer, Justin. That helps me plan for next year. Glad I could remind you to make a note. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have all these, like, I am terrible at like utilizing all the content that I'm creating because I had all these calls with creators where it was literally a Q&A call. It's kind of like this, but it was like almost like an hour per call. And I have the recordings and I want to chop it up and reuse it. Probably that I use these live streams for short form content, right? I download the replay and then I send it to my editors and they chop it up, add cool little captions and all this stuff too. And then I use it for short form content. And so I need to get better I'm doing so much other stuff too. Like I have all these Q&A calls that I did. And so why am I not using those as short form content? Like, oh my God, I'm an idiot, but I need to be smarter about it. Gabriella has a question here. Question: is it cheaper for a brand to buy YouTube ads versus with YouTubers, like 2K? Like meaning, like I think you have a 2K following. It just depends on the targeting and depends on the ad, really. Because if you target a more niche audience, there's so many variables, like in terms of like who you're targeting, the demos, the geographies, exactly what the product set is, the vertical, what is the purpose of or what is the product that it's being, sold and all that stuff too. So it's really, really hard to say. So I honestly, I don't have an answer for you there. It's highly contextual. Gabriella says, I have a brand wanting to give me free products while they have a YouTube ad. Yeah. So, again, going back to this whole example I gave around how like they have certainty. They put $1 into YouTube ads. They know they're going to get $3 out. And so your task is to convince them or show them why partnering with you is going to either get as good or better of a return, or how you can create content that'll actually they can run those ads and make more money if that's the tactic they care about, right? Ashley says, if you can help them regain consumer confidence, it can result in a major deal. Yeah, 100%. Ashley says, take the high road. It really pays off. I promise they will come back. Yeah. D says, fire. Thank you, D. I appreciate you. Yeah. Circle H Scuba says, is anyone else singing Hotline Bling right now? Yeah, 100%. Like if I'm giving you Hotline Bling, I don't think I look like Drake. Maybe I got this haircut, so maybe I kind of look like Drake because I got the haircut. But if I am encouraging you to sing Hotline Bling, and unfortunately I couldn't get the rights to use the Hotline Bling song in the negotiation hotline video, unfortunately. But maybe down the line, if y'all share it with your friends, maybe maybe I can, get that sweet AdSense dollar. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in today to the live stream. Always have such a blast doing this. And apologies for the audio issues at the beginning. That was super annoying. I still got to figure this out and dial it in. But I do have a screenshot of what the settings were last time, and hopefully that'll save it. That'll be good enough. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.